Check test 1 2. 1 2 check test 1 2. Good evening, everybody. Back to my late night Boomerang scratch practice. It is day 15 we took yesterday as a break. And last time we were on turntables, so we're going to continue that routine. So we were actually using real vinyl on the last video, on the last live stream. We might do that, but we're going to stick to DVS right at the beginning. We're going to start with our warm-ups. So solos. Got to scooch my stool. We're using Serato once again. Okay, so let's start at 120 BPM, the break beat. Check. Oh, I should turn off master tempo. I forgot having the key lock on when you're using DVS. It just does some glitchiness. What do I think about the Rain 72 and the 70? So here's what I tell everybody. The best thing to do is to actually try it, because some gear it's like an instrument. It'll either really, really work with you, or it's going to be something that you're going to kind of struggle with. And not every piece of gear is made for everybody. So no matter what kind of gear you have or you're looking at, make sure to try it out. Also, the people who ask the people who use it. Like, obviously, I've never really used a 70 or a 72. But the best thing to really do is to try it out. All right, let's bring up the BPM. Let's bring it up to 124. We're going to bring it up to 128. And from a couple videos ago, one of the things that helped me improve using the DDJ SB3 was using a thicker fader cap. I actually ordered the S9 and SRT fader caps, 3 of them for my SB3, because I like these P-Lock ones. The what's it called? The chroma caps from DJ Tech Tools. My problem with them is that they tend to pivot and they start scraping the body, and that's when you start getting a lot of burn marks right on the surface of your mixer. Let's try it with a different sample. It's weird. One day of not practicing, like the Boomerang, I feel at higher BPM is a very endurance type of scratch where you need to maintain it in order to keep it. But I think with enough practice, it gets to the point where it gets embedded in you. But right now, it's still kind of shaky as I'm moving up to BPM. And once again, this mixer has an infinity fader stem that's installed. This is my neighbor's DJ MS9. He lets me use it. Oh, that last one was bad. Well, okay, so here's one of the things about picking gear. A lot of times I do a review, and when I do a review is I try to give you guys enough information so you can decide what works for you. And I still suggest even after that to go try it out, because like I don't actually do recommendations, because if I don't personally know somebody, I wouldn't really know what would fit them. You know what I'm saying? It's like different gear can vibe with different people in a different way. And the most important thing is which one will creatively inspire you. So if you're choosing a mixer, I'm telling you right now, the best thing to do is evaluate, like take into consideration, are you doing turntablism? Are you doing house mixing? Are you going to be doing club mixing? What kind of music you're going to be playing? Do you want to go 4 decks? Do you want to go turntables? Do you want to go CDJs? Do you want a controller? Like there a lot of factors go in there. You said that you wanted a mixer. So what I would do is when the pandemic is all over, stop by a store or ask a DJ in your area that might have a mixer that interests you, and try it out and maybe have them explain why they like it. And you got to go one by one with a bunch of people and see if that's something that you think would vibe with you. For me, I'm even though I'm using a battle mixer in this specific setting, I like multi-channel mixers because I like to bring instruments in. So two channels for me doesn't really cut it as my personal mixer. Like I said, this one's not really mine. So, but yeah, that's how I see making a suggestion is you got to explore. So for you said turntablism. So yeah, two channel battle mixer and like I would look at like I work for Pioneer. I'm a demonstrator for Pioneer, so just putting that out there that of course I would suggest an S9, an S3 or any of our two channel mixers, but you know, I also say that DJ gear to me is like a musical instrument. If a Pioneer mixer doesn't work for you and you might find some features on another mixer that works for you, that would be, you know, roll with that. So the only way to know is to try them side by side. No, not necessarily side by side, but try them out, see what's missing from one to the other. You got to do your own research on it. I don't tell people what they should get. In fact, I don't want to take, that's one of the biggest steps to jumping into the art form is to actually make the choices that'll work for you. And I don't want to take that privilege away from anybody else by telling them what to get. So, yep. NYC doesn't let you try anything. Have you gone to Guitar Center? Because I check this story out. To this day, I do not own a pair of Pioneer CDJs, and I've taught many people, and like over the years, and decades, like 2 decades later, from the time I first started using them, because I never owned a pair, I work for Pioneer. I used to go to Guitar Center and practice on their setup there, and that's how I got to learn the gear. So like I would say go to a Guitar Center, have them set it up for you. They can set it up for you if you really want to try it. Sometimes they might have used gear there because people trade items all the time. So I would really recommend Guitar Center, maybe Sam Ash if you have a Sam Ash, or if there's any mom and pop DJ stores in your area. I'm sure there's a lot. It's New York. And of course, you know, when they open back up again after the pandemic's over. Got my flow back. And lost it. I don't think those days are gone. I've been to Guitar Center in New York pretty like a year and a half ago, and I was messing with the DJ gear there and the guitars and the drums. But yeah, like the whole reason Guitar Center even exists is so that you can actually go in there and try whatever it is you're trying to buy. That's the big reason why they exist. Otherwise, they could just do online. Like why have this store at all when people could just order the stuff online if they don't need to look at it and try it? If you hate the 72, then that might not be the mixer for you. And mind you, like you say, it might be complicated. You might like maybe an S3 that's very simple. It won't even have these beat pads. So something that's laid out like a old school mixer that just has a sound card so you can plug into Serato, but it doesn't have all the buttons and MIDI on them. All right, let's bring it to 128 BPM. Babied out. You know what I like about these clear DVS timecode vinyl? You don't see the fingerprints as terribly as you would on the black ones. Oh, I'm not even boomeranging anymore.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let the song play out. Oh, got to the end of the record. And turn off the auto loop. gonna bring it up to 140 to do a medicine ball run, or 138 since we only have 8%. You know, I wasn't able to handle this speed last time. Like I'm not saying that I'm comfortable with it, but I wasn't able to go that long. Okay, back to 128. Oh. Ah. Ah, it's babying out. Oh, you can't tell if it's the same technique, the boomerang. So, yeah, what happened was when I got up to like 100 BPM, I started hitting this weird phantom note. So there's this extra note in there that gets thrown in. So like when I slow it down, it sounds like this. Like there's that little like that's in there. Say it's supposed to really sound like. But then, like, now that my hand is kind of loose when I do that, there's an extra note because either I drag it a little too late and it just catches it. So going slow. There's that phantom note. Ah, lost the phantom note. I kind of try to catch it because it sounds so... It makes it sound faster. Ah. So, yeah. I'm adding other scratches in there so that I can learn how to weave in and out of the boomerang. Gotta give my arm a rest. I notice I always end up in a chirp when I'm ready to get out of the boomerang. Yeah, it sounds different when you go this fast. It definitely does. And you got to think we're really close to twice. We're over twice where we started when we were at 100 BPM because we started at 50 BPM. And if we hit 140, we're going to be twice what 70 was. Like the first day we went from 50 to 70 and we're at 128. We're 12 BPM just below 140. Which is twice 70. Yeah, it does. The boomerang does look more simple than it really is. It's a timing thing, which is really, really hard to time, and I don't get it. I don't hit it every time. See that first one? I didn't get it. And the timing has a lot to do with like how slow you bring the fader back. There's like kind of like a curve, like just a slight delay when you bring it back, and then it's like, don't bring it back too fast. It just has to be at the right moment to catch that little phantom note. So these scratch samples are known scratch samples a lot of people use. You know, this is the sample. Fresh. Yeah. And this scratch track I actually put together using their samples because I just wanted something with the ones that I like to use the most. That they're fresh. Yeah. Whatever that is. And then R2D2. And after every live stream, I put a link down in a pinned comment down below so that, well, it's not up right now, but if you look at my previous Boomerang Scratch live streams, in the pinned comment, I actually give you guys a free download link to get this specific sample. So if you guys want it, you can catch it there. Or if you wait after the live stream, I'll be putting it up on a pinned comment on this video. Let's change the beat. I love scratching to break beats because they're at like, you know, electronic music tempos, but there's still a break, which makes it sound better for scratching. Ah, didn't catch it there.
Shit, I made the crowd go.
Ah, missed it. Shout out to Hawaii. Yeah, scratching, you gotta, like, if you want to learn how to scratch, you gotta put the time in. And it takes a lot of practice to get to a decent point where you can take it to a live gig. Am I using software like OBS? Yes, I am, and I saw it actually glitch up a little bit.
1, 2, 3, 4,
And here's the thing, like, I know this is day 15 of practicing the boomerang scratch. The thing is, your hands want to go this fast. Because it's just the rhythm. It's your hands dancing, you know? Like, I found it more difficult starting than building my BPM. Because not, like, at some point, your hands just want to take off. And you're naturally falling into the state of doing this. At least that's how I feel when I got up to upper BPMs. Also, the SB3 was also the hardest thing to try this on. I can't get past 110 BPM on the SB3. I'm a little curious what I would, if I would be able to do all this if I wasn't using the heavier infinity fader, if I would be able to do this on a regular S9 fader. That'd be something I need to explore. That was a long one. Oh, that hurts my arms. Yeah. You know, this is the most I've ever practiced scratching in like over 20 years. Ooh, I like this beat. I'm gonna loop this. Back to the fresh sample. The arms hurt. It's a little bit of a workout. I wouldn't say like a real workout, but it's a workout in getting your arms, your forearms, just used to the little bit of energy that you have to take to do the boomerang at this speed. Because at 110, I can do this all day, but at 128, it's a marathon. If you're not a scratch DJ, I wouldn't say that you would need the infinity fader. It's really just it's not a crossfader replacement. It just replaces the stem. You still have the maglev in there, and the thing about it is that it just replaces the plastic stem because people who practice a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean way more than I have been in the last 15, 16, 17 days total. And the thing about it is some people, because the stem built into them is plastic, they will break the fader off. I've never broken one myself. I just put one in there just to try it out. And it does have a little bit of a weight to it, but I believe that they've made a new version that's even lighter. But it's made out of, I want to say aluminum. I could be wrong, but it is a metal. It's not plastic. So they call it the infinity fader because it's supposed to last forever. So, but if you're not scratching, it's not going to matter because you're not putting that much mileage on your crossfader if you don't scratch. So you wouldn't need one. Yeah, when my hand's not like tired, I can pull them off a lot easier. Can I do all this without Serato and just a real record with... I did that in the last video, so you know what? Because Serato does have a little bit of a latency, all DJ software does. Even if it's a little bit and it's unnoticeable, it will... Sometimes the way a real record behaves might sound a little different. So let's pull out a scratch record and switch to vinyl. All right, we're back with the Super Ducks. No, not Super Ducks, Super Seal. Actually, I do have Super Ducks, but I haven't opened them yet. I used to have them when I first learned to scratch, and I don't know. I'm feeling some type of way about like starting to scratch on those Super Ducks because it's a little bit of a nostalgia for me. And I'm like a little afraid to ruin them. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip them and put them on file on MP3 so I have a copy of it, so when I start messing with the Super Ducks I won't feel as bad for scratching them up. Alright, here we go. Oh, it sounds better. Ooh, my timing's a little off with it. I think I need some adjustment. It's like you can't really describe it, but it does sound like there's just so much more attack when you're using a vinyl record just because it's happening in real time. Well, there is some processing since this is a digital mixer, but it's not going through the software and back, so it just feels a lot tighter. I remember Qbert used to talk about how he doesn't like Serato because something about the latency on it. He can't get all his scratches out. That's why he uses Tractor. I don't notice the difference in latency with Tractor, but supposedly there is. But I do notice the difference between Serato and actual vinyl. And that's even with my buffer setting to 1 millisecond, because that's where I have it right now. Something just sounds smoother on it. Well, I used to always complain about the Serato algorithm for scratching. It's too bright. Like when you listen to a vinyl record, even with the treble all the way up, it doesn't get too crispy where it hurts your ears. It kind of filters out, and that's just the nature of using a stylus and a cartridge and a real vinyl record versus digital emulation. Kind of funny, the controller guy talking about the the great sound quality of scratching on vinyl. Yeah, something just sounds smoother on it. Ugh. Let's switch samples. Some felt over here. Don't know what that's from. A little sloppy on there. It's another sample I really like. That one right there. I'm a little rusty. I'm gonna turn up the tension control knob for the fader to add some resistance, so my return is slower. See, that improved it. Let's try this back at the fresh sample. I don't know why, I'm sounding sloppy on that fresh sample. Okay, let's do a medicine ball run with the vinyl. Now let's bring it back. Ah. You know what? It's all practice, though. You just gotta, like you guys see me doing 45 to an hour every day. We're already at 52, so let's just do one power run and we're gonna call it a night. Oh, I lost my timing. Let's slow it down. All right. Really appreciate you guys for joining me for quarantine day 22. And it is day 15 of the Boomerang scratch practice. So join me back tomorrow. We're going to do, like I said, we're going to try to do this. Still haven't decided if we're going to do 21 days or 28 days. Probably 21. I'm starting to lean towards 21 and just see where we're at. But I still have kind of a goal to hit 140. But it really, really hurts to get there. But then I used to say that it hurt to got to 100. So let's see if we could push again. I'm probably going to, for the next setup, I'm probably going to bring back the DDJ 800 and maybe have a turntable on it just so I could go back and forth. And I got to prep for a podcast for my friend's not podcast, but a Twitch mix for a group called Party Hard. I'll give you guys more info on that when I have it, but it's this Thursday. It's going to be midnight Central. Well, technically that would be Friday. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe. Be healthy.